These are big questions.
Yeah. So, okay. So the first one that really kind of jumped out at me was this whole idea of the problem of evil,
Yeah,
right? It's like this classic question.
it is.
If God is all loving, why is there so much suffering in the world,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
And Terry Thomas V1C really kind of hits on that, pretty hard.
Yeah. Right.
He's basically saying, um, look around. Like there's just so much pain, there's so much suffering.
So much brokenness.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say, okay, and then you want to tell me that there's this place called hell
Mm-hmm.
where like, the suffering is eternal.
Eternal. Yeah.
That doesn't sound very loving to me.
Right. And to him, it's just like if death is just a peaceful slipping away into nothingness,
Yeah.
that's much more comforting of a concept.
Right. Like that's a
Comforting
preference.
forever.
Yeah. So how do you even begin to respond to that?
Well, it's really interesting because the light of reflection actually doesn't go with that typical like God works in mysterious ways.
Right.
What they do is they actually draw a parallel to like human justice systems.
Mm.
Right? Like think about it. We have laws in place, we have punishments, right, for when those laws are broken.
Yeah.
We even in some places have, the death penalty.
Yeah.
So does that mean that our governments are incapable of love just because they have systems of punishment?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's an interesting parallel to draw.
yeah, it's like we all kind of accept that, okay, there are consequences to actions.
Right.
Even if those consequences are, negative, we still sort of acknowledge that
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be some kind of,
Some system.
yeah. So does that logic, I guess, like transfer then to this idea of like a divine system?
Right. Could there be?
Right.
Could there be a God who is loving?
Yeah.
But also just
Yeah.
and runs a universe that has, real consequences.
Yeah, consequences for action, even if those consequences, ultimately culminate in something
Like hell.
like hell yeah.
And that's a really tough concept.
Yeah, and so I'm curious, like, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Because I know I wrestle with that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this idea that like a world without consequences, is that really more loving? Like, does that really uphold justice? What does that say about the weight of our choices?
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah, it kind of flips the script on how we usually think about that.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's move on
Oh.
to Terry Thomas V1C's next argument, because he doesn't stop there.
Right.
He's got
He keeps going.
he's got some more ammunition and
He's coming.
yeah. So he takes real issue with this whole idea of hell, right?
Yeah.
He calls eternal damnation
Yes.
way disproportionate.
To the crime.
Yeah. To what he sees as like,
Like trivial matters.
yeah, like, trivial matters like,
yeah.
okay, so you messed up a little bit
Oh,
here
okay.
and now you're going to spend eternity.
Burning in hell.
Yeah.